What is up, everybody? You are checking out the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast. I'm your hot commodity Ant, and you are checking out our Attitude Year Season 3. We're covering all of 2000. Don't forget to check out in our archive Season 1 and Season 2. We are on Episode 4 of Season 3, and we're covering WWF SmackDown from January 13th, 2000. Live in Chicago, Illinois. And to kick off SmackDown, we have the WWF Champion Triple H, joined by Stephanie McMahon-Helmsley. They come out to the ring. Stephanie says, there has been a misunderstanding. No WWF superstars are leaving this company. We dealt with things in a fair manner. Why would any of you threaten to leave? Our doors are always open. We are very fair. There is only one McMahon running this company, and that's me. Triple H then grabs the mic. He says, after Monday, I need to apologize. Not to any of you, not to any of the 50 ingrates threatening to walk. They don't understand the sacrifice we put out each week. I am your WWF champion for you. I make apologies to DX. I was wrong. I try to fix mistakes with tough love. You showed tough love back last week. You made me realize the error in my ways. Tonight, I will show you just how sorry I am. The New Age Outlaws will face Bradshaw in a no DQ handicap match. If Faarooq gets involved, the Acolytes lose their title shot at the Royal Rumble. Triple H then books himself and X-Pac to take on the Big Show and The Rock later on. Triple H then says, as for Mick Foley, if you thought you had me backed against the wall, sorry, you were wrong. I beat you in the center of the ring and left you laying in a puddle of your blood. Your blood will stain New York City, and I will beat you worse than you've been beaten before. He goes, I got nowhere to go. If you got the guts, Mick, why don't you bring it down, and I'll finish what I started on Raw. The fake Mankind comes out to the ring, and the fake Mankind gets on his knees. He says, I'm sorry you had to kick my butt on Raw. Every time I see you, I feel more pathetic. But then the real Mick Foley comes out. Mick says, that is enough. You like making fun of me. First, you take away my job. Bring this idiot out and take away my dignity. On Raw, you ruined my shirt and face. Mankind is not ready to face you in Madison Square Garden. You're the game. Mankind is a pathetic fool. But the WWF fans deserve a substitute. I think you know the guy pretty well. His name is Cactus Jack, and his first act is to kick your teeth all over Chicago. So then Cactus Jack attacks Triple H, tosses the fake Mankind to the floor, lands a baseball slide, and Cactus Jack takes a chair and lands an elbow drop off the apron to the fake Mankind. Cactus Jack then says, you're going to make me bleed. Triple H, it won't be the first or the last time someone has made me bleed. You look in my eyes, I'm going to tear you apart in New York City. Then I'm going to take your title, and it will be mine. Bang, bang. And so we find out that no, Mankind will not be fighting Triple H at the Royal Rumble. It will, in fact, be Cactus Jack. Triple H does know Cactus Jack well. They fought back in 97 on an episode of Raw. And Cactus Jack is a scary sight, as you'll see throughout the show. They show highlights of Cactus Jack's career in Japan and in WWE and other companies like WCW. But this definitely took Triple H back. He doesn't really want to fight Mick Foley, and just seeing him get so upset when Mick Foley takes off the shirt and reveals a Cactus Jack tee underneath. Good developing story here. For those who have seen the Royal Rumble 2000, that was a great match on the card and probably the best match on the show. But we'll talk about it when we cover it. Cactus Jack versus Triple H, now official for Royal Rumble. Our first match, we have the tag team champions, the New Age Outlaws, not defending, but taking on Bradshaw in a no DQ handicap match. Mr. Ass attacks Bradshaw on the back with steps. Road Dogg then hits Bradshaw with a steel chair and then a DDT. And then Road Dogg ends up finishing off Bradshaw with a steel chair shot to the head. The New Age Outlaws get victory over Bradshaw here, and later on they'll take on Faarooq. However, DX has their night filled, and Acolytes are going to want revenge against the New Age Outlaws come the Royal Rumble. So we meet Jonathan Coachman. It's his first night on SmackDown. He interviews The Rock. The Rock pretty much mocks John the Coachman, and he calls the Big Show a jabroni, which is important for the developments later on in the night. Next up, we have Al Snow teaming up with the Hollies to take on Rikishi and Too Cool. A basic match for this episode of SmackDown. Really, no storyline here. Al Snow just keeps picking these crappy tag team partners that don't ever win. Rikishi lands the Rikishi drop to crash, gets the victory after Al Snow takes out his frustration on the Holly cousins by nailing them both with head. Triple H and Stephanie Van Helmsley congratulate the New Age Outlaws, but they want to know where X-Pac is. They haven't seen him, and this is leading to some speculation that X-Pac might be done with DX in general. Next up, we have Gangrel with Luna Vachon taking on Test. Test continues to wear that mask to protect his injured nose. Test lands a big boot and a gunshot wrench power bomb, but Luna distracts the referee. After that distraction, Test lands a pump handle slam, but then Luna pulls the referee out of the ring, and then Luna jumps on Test's back, and then Gangrel and Luna double team Test. After Test slams both Luna and Gangrel, and Test hits a flying elbow drop to Gangrel. He's had enough of getting attacked, and I don't know if this is a new version of Test, but he was unhappy that Luna jumped on his back, and he was not happy with Gangrel either for allowing his woman to hit him. Co-Intercontinental Champions Chyna and Chris Jericho are backstage talking. Chyna says she wants to try to make things work. She, understands what happened last week. She wants to let bygones be bygones, and they shake hands. We already know this is not going to work out good for Chris Jericho, but we'll see what happens later. We have the Hardy Boyz with Tori taking on Prince Albert and the WWF Hardcore Champion, the Big Boss Man. Story here is the past couple of weeks, Boss Man and Albert have been accidentally attacking one another, and it ends up happening again during this match. Bossman argued with Prince Albert after Albert accidentally runs into Bossman, allowing Jeff Hardy to dropkick Bossman into Albert, and the Hardys get a roll of victory. After Bossman and Prince Albert finally come to blows, fighting on the floor ringside, and these two will probably not be working anymore together. I mentioned this last week. We have a lot of tag team matches in the early days of 2000. We have Kurt Angle teaming with Steve Blackman to take on Edge and Christian. During this match, WWF European Champion Val Venus shows up on the Titantron, and he has Steve Blackman's kendo sticks, and he basically says to Blackman, "Were you really going to try to use these against my future brother-in-law?" His brother-in-law being Edge in the storyline, which actually is real. Edge did marry Val Venus' sister. Edge lands a missile drop kick to Steve Blackman to get the victory for Edge and Christian here, and Kurt Angle leaves upset. This is the second time Angle has lost due to Steve Blackman. However, this doesn't go against his pinfall win streak here. Chyna's backstage with Tori, and she tells Tori that Chris Jericho has fantasies of her, and Jericho wants to touch her. That makes Tori upset. She leaves. Chyna smiles because she knows Tori is going to tell Kane. Next, we have another handicap match. The New Age Outlaws now taking on Faarooq. They defeat Faarooq quickly after nailing a double powerbomb. After Bradshaw runs out to get rid of the Outlaws with a pipe, and these two teams will meet at the Royal Rumble, and the Acolytes are not going to be happy. We have Brown and The Godfather defeating the Headbangers next, and another quick match here on SmackDown. Godfather lands a hoe train, and D'Lo hits the lowdown to Drafter, and D'Lo and Godfather win. The Rock and the Big Show have a backstage interview, which leads to the Big Show telling The Rock to just stay out of his way tonight. We'll see how that plays out in the main event. We have Kane now taking on one half of the Intercontinental Champions, Chris Jericho. Jericho lands a missile drop kick. Chyna and the Cat then come out. Kane lands a choke slam after the distraction and a tombstone, defeating Chris Jericho after the Cat runs down and grabs the Intercontinental title and gives it to Chyna. Again, these two, Jericho and Chyna, have been going at it since November, and now one of them needs to be declared the official Intercontinental Champion. X-Pac is backstage with DX, and he looks like he's upset with Triple H, but we go to our main event, X-Pac and the WWF Champion Triple H with Stephanie McMahon Helmsley taking on The Rock and the Big Show. During the match, The Rock tags himself in after Big Show doesn't tag The Rock in. And then The Rock goes to tag in the Big Show, but the Big Show jumps down, leaving The Rock alone. Triple H lands a low blow and a pedigree to The Rock, and Triple H and X-Pac get the victory. after the Big Show returns to the ring and lands a huge choke slam to The Rock. Now, officially, I don't know if this turns the Big Show heel, but it makes him not a fan with the crowd here in WWE. So we have another Raw's War, another SmackDown. Then we've got the Royal Rumble coming to you from Madison Square Garden. Our next episode of Raw is live in New Haven, Connecticut, my hometown. So I'm excited to cover that. Check out the rest of our Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast Network. We have Attitude Years, WWE Raw coverage, SmackDown coverage, pay-per-view recap, and so much more. Until next time, stay safe and stay uncensored.